effect of pressure. So at very low pressure, PV is almost equal to, it is approximately equal to nRT, that is Z is equal to N1. I mean, this means that gas shows the ideal gas behavior. But if you take the at low pressure, means pressure should be greater than the at very low pressure, then PV should be equal to, it will be equal to less than nRT. That in the, this means that the compressibility factor will be lesser than 1. This means gas are more compressible than the ideal gas. It means that attractive force will dominate the repulsive forces, and carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, these gases are easy to be liquefied and possess high solubility in water. They have also higher critical temperature. That's why these gases are very, very soluble in water. So one factor is jet factor and one factor is critical temperatures. So that's why they are showing negative deviation than any other gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, which have lower value for critical temperatures. So you can see this diagram also here. In this diagram, it is very clearly, this is your nitrogen is this side, this is your hydrogen. So you can see the hydrogen is, the compressibility factor of hydrogen is greater than 1, so Z is greater than 1. So this gas is very, very incompressible. So when the value of Z is greater than 1, then these gases cannot be compressible easily, whatever you will gas pressures, whatever you will give pressures. So if any gas is coming below this dotted line, then this gas is compressible. So this you can see, this is the dip of this curve. So here if you increase the pressure, it is going down. This means up to this level, this gas can be ammonia, carbon dioxide, this can be easily liquefied. So at one particular temperature. So critical demand. So in all such cases, like a carbon dioxide value, the PV decreases with increase in pressure till PV passes through the minimum. With further increase of pressure, the compressibility is less than the expected. That is PV increases. However, lower than that required for Boyle's law with increase in pressures. But it will be lower than that required for the Boyle's law with increase in pressure. So already in this graph you can see again. So this pressure is increasing. So what happens? This compressive decreasing. So at this point, this becomes your this becomes a minimum. So after that, if you increase the pressure, it will go liquid. The gas will be less compressible, but it will be still can be liquefied. But after reaching this one ideal point, then this cannot be liquefied. It will be, you will apply whatever the pressure. See here, pressure increasing, you will apply whatever pressure, the gas will not be compressible, it becomes incompressible. So first it is on pressure increasing, this Z will decrease, then again if you increase, then Z will again automatically increase. So this is what it want to say here. So first what happens, PV passes through the minimum, with further increase of pressure, the compressibility is less than the expected. So when PV increases, then what happens with increase in pressure? So definitely after increase in pressure, so below this line PV will increase, then gas becomes incompressible. Now at average pressure, that is if pressure is almost equal to nRT, the Z equal to 1, this is called average pressure, this become ideal gases, the gas will show approximately to ideal gas behavior, and then Z versus V is straight line with the zero slope and parallel to pressure axis. So this is the Z equal to 1, you can see here graph. So in Z equal to 1, what happens? This is 1. So this will be a straight line, this is parallel to x-axis, which with no slope. So you can slope is also absent here. This straight line, no slope is there, and it is parallel to x-axis. This is called average pressure. At high pressure, so when PV equal to greater than nRT, that is Z equal to 1, or the gases are much less compressible than ideal gas behavior, then in that cases repulsive forces will dominate, like helium and hydrogen. So these two gases having Z equal to greater than, these gases are incompressible because these gases are above the ideal gas behavior, line of ideal gas behavior, parallel line. So these gases at high pressure, this becomes totally incompressible. Now come to effect of temperature. So effect of temperature, an increase in temperature shows and decrease in deviations from the ideal gas behavior. That is, PV approaches to nRT with rise in temperature, or Z approaches unity. So here I have taken effective temperature for one gas, that gas is nitrogen. So in nitrogen, this graph is plotted, you can see this is the tip of the curve. So this temperature is somewhere lesser than 200 Kelvin. So when you increase the temperature, then this Z, it will approach unity, it will going up. So like this, like it will going up. So it will up means again, if you again more increase the temperature, then it will go more than Z. Then in this process, what will happen? PV will be greater than 1. Then this gas will be, even nitrogen will be incompressible in high temperature. This is what I want to say that. So this same graph has been plotted in another way. The two-way plotting graph. This is the Z versus P. This is the P versus P. P means same thing. This is the compressibility factor. So we can see this deep of the curve is when you increasing the temperature, it is going near to this ideal gas axis. So this is the behavior. Or increased temperature, this is going near to 1. That's why I think when PV approaches to nRT, means this is near to ideal gas with rising temperature also rising, and Z will approaches to unity. So this is the graph of the nitrogen. Similarly, same graph can be occur for different type of gases. Now finally we see what are the conclusions we have got from this deviation of ideal gas from the deviation of the real gas from the deviation of gas from real gas from the ideal gas behavior. So at temperature increases, the dip of the curves becomes smaller and smaller. Deviation from a small we have seen this is going smaller and smaller. So this is decreasing. So this is decreasing. This is decreasing. This is decreasing. It is going decreasing down. Deviation from ideal gas behaviors becomes less and less with increasing temperatures. So we have seen it. It becomes less deviation. It is almost approximate to ideal gas. So at a different temperature, the dip in the curves vanishes and the gas follows ideal gas behavior for the appreciable range of pressure, and this temperature is called Boyle's law. It's very clear. You can see here. So this is approaches to this case here. So here whatever temperature is there, so this temperature highest temperature, but this temperature the gas will behave as an ideal gas behavior, and this temperature is called as whatever pressure at this temperature. So the temperature at this appreciable range of pressure will called as the Boyle's temperature. This is not Boyle's, this is not Boyle's, this is a Boyle's temperature, because at Boyle's temperature the gas will behave as a ideal gas behavior. So this you learn this definition, understand this definition, it will be very helpful for the examination. What is Boyle's temperature? So Boyle's temperature, that is TB, that is T4 equal to T3 T2. So here Boyle's temperature totally different, but this Boyle's temperature will give you appreciable value of gas that will follow the ideal gas at that temperature, and it's different for different gases. For different gases it will be different. Conclusions. So deviations from ideal gas behavior is more at high pressure and low temperature for gas. So when you take the high pressure and low temperature, the deviation from ideal gas will be more. When you take, or conversely you can say, for real gas deviations are less at low pressure and high temperature, that is when gas volumes are large. This we have already seen it. Now there is some problem that you can solve by yourself. 1 mole carbon dioxide occupies 0.4 liter at 27 degrees centigrade and 40 atmospheric pressure. Calculate Z. So use the value of Z, that is PV equal to PV by nRT. You will get this answers. Second questions, for nitrogen pressure is given, Z is given 1.95, temperature minus 50 degrees centigrade. So calculate the mass of nitrogen required to fill 500 ml flask under these conditions. So PV Z equal to PV by nRT. So PV given here, P given here, T given, and you can easily calculate. So value of N is 11.2 mole, and weight of that nitrogen will be just multiplied by 28. You will get this answer, 313.7 grams. So this is a very easy question, you can do by yourself. So this I will leave it up to you.